Greetings and salutations! Welcome to something a bit different. I wanted to review PC Specialist. Now, I've had a lot of dealings with them. I've ordered 2 computers from them, so I thought... I know I spent a lot of time finding a good place to buy a PC. You're spending a lot of money, so I thought I'd try and save you guys some time. A lot of the people that watch my channel already know that I have been going through issues with PC Specialist, so I thought I'd drop a quick video. It's a little sort of presentation, like PowerPoint, but I haven't got PowerPoint. It's a website called slidedog.com, which is a really good little slideshow thing if you ever need one. I think it's free. Yeah, it's free. So basically what it is, PC Specialist is a website for ordering PCs. They're much more, rather than just a lot of the websites where you just have a list of all their PCs. Maybe you can change a couple of bits. Basically, you can pick and choose every single component of your PC. So it's really good for people like me who know about computers but are just too lazy to build my own. I've built my own in the past. I can't be asked to do it anymore. You only pay a little bit more money and you get warranties and stuff, which is all good. So I'm happy to do that now. I've just got old and lazy, basically. So let me just preface this. So 3 years ago, I ordered a computer from PC Specialist for about 900 quid, I think. They were pretty quick. I think it came to me in a couple of weeks. I got it through finance, where they have their own finance company that they use, and that was all great. No problems whatsoever. So after a week of using the PC, a couple of times during gaming, the computer just shut down. No warning, no beeps, no nothing, just boo, nothing. So that's weird. Happened 2 or 3 more times. I say, okay, something's wrong here. So I got a few monitoring devices. I got there's a heat monitor and a process monitor stuff to see what was going on inside my computer. And basically what it was that the computer was overheating, like big time. So the computer was automatically switching itself off when it got to a certain temperature to stop the whole thing melting into a pool of liquid, right? So I contacted PC Specialist and explained them the situation. So they agreed with me that I showed them the temperatures and everything. So they basically said that there's something wrong with your processor cooler, right? So whether it had been put in wrong, or the thermal paste that you put on the processor has been done incorrectly, or it got knocked about when it was getting shipped, or it was just a faulty part, who knows? But they said, we'll send you over another one. Once you get that, send us back the old one. And I fit it myself, so they gave me some thermal paste, and I did that all myself and stuff. You can actually, if you're not confident in doing that sort of thing, you can just say, no, I'll return it. They pay for it all, so you don't actually pay any postage or anything for returns. But they'll pay for it all. But I was confident. I've built PCs before, so they sent me a new processor, installed that, and the computer ever since then has been fine. So just a little annoying thing, but like I said, it could have been a faulty thing. Who knows what was wrong? The most likely is it just got damaged in transit, but who knows? So that was okay, and the support guys were really helpful. That's what really stood out for me, was when I did contact them with a problem. They were fantastic. You can use they've got when you log on to the website, you can use the forums. You've got their phone number. You can contact emails. They're quick at answering. So I was really happy with that. So that was fine. So anyway, zoom on 3 years to current day. Right, current day. So whenever it was, 25th of November, I decided to buy myself a new PC. Kind of a Christmas present to myself, but also because my YouTube channel, I wanted to concentrate more on that and make better YouTube channels, better videos and stuff, and better quality. I noticed that my old computer, whilst running sort of the newer games like Fallout 4 and stuff, was really struggling a bit. Plus then, if I then wanted to use OBS, which is a recording software to make YouTube videos, that all just slowed down to the computer to a crawl. And also things like Sony Vegas and stuff, which is editing software and all that sort of stuff, just my poor little computer was struggling. So I thought, I'm going to buy myself a Christmas present. So I had a budget of £1,500, so nice big chunk. So one of the good things about PC Specialist is you can, if you're not a computer whiz, you don't know all these parts are, you can go on their forums, go onto the forum. There's a section where you basically say what you are. So even if you're buying, let's say you're a mum, or you're somebody buying it for a present, or you just don't know about computers, you can go on there and say, I have a budget of X amount. I have a budget of £1,000 to buy this computer. I'd like one monitor with the computer, keyboard and mouse, but I want it to do this, this and this. So you might say I want it to do gaming, or I want to do I make music videos, so lots of editing and stuff like that, or I do graphic design, I want to do that sort of thing. Tell the forum what exactly you want to use it for, and then you'll get a load of really helpful people that will just basically post you a link to one of these desktop configurations that's basically done for you that suits your needs, and you can change anything that you want to change or whatever after that, but it gives you a really good base to start from, and that's one of the main things I enjoyed about PC Specialist the first time round. So as well as my own research, I posted on the forums, told them my 1,500 quid budget, told them what I wanted to use it for, got straight into it. They were good, they were really helpful. Then, like I said, did my own research, made a few little changes. So I ended up spending about $1,640 on the PC, and they're quite competitive price. There's a few websites that do a similar thing to this, and I've had a look at the others. They're all pretty similar prices. And I paid an extra £30 to have, instead of, I think it's a maximum of 3-week period it takes to do, you can have it sped up to like 3 working days if you spend, I think it's 30 quid. And I've got no patience, so I spent the 30 quid and got it done quickly. So fantastic, that, you know, brilliant. Here we go, we're on the way. So I received the computer within a week. They use a company called DPD, which is a delivery service, and I'm in Northern Ireland at the moment, so over here, anyway, they basically, instead of having their own vans and stuff, they basically hire people out with vans. So these white van men are basically hired out to do deliveries. Okay, so I'm waiting on the day that my computer should arrive, and it's sort of getting late, and I'm like, okay. So then I've got my 3 dogs, right? So I let them out into the hall so they can watch out. They'll bark at anybody coming near. So I saw a van pulling up. I went downstairs. By the time I was downstairs, he was already off. He didn't even wait. He didn't even knock at the door. There was just a big box outside my door. I looked at it and went, that's a big box. Doesn't look big enough. It's not that big a box. So I looked at the name, and it was some woman, and it was some other road. The number was right, number 7. But a totally different road that seemed familiar, but it was not us, obviously. So I was like, oh, great. And then I got a text message from DPD saying, your parcel has been delivered. And I'm like, no, it fucking hasn't. So I contacted DPD, explained the situation. They said their driver has made a mistake, and what's actually happened is the other address they gave my computer to, my box, right? So he'd mixed them up. So they said he's going to be back this afternoon to swap over the packages. Do apologise, blah de blah de blah, whatever. So I was like, fine. So it was getting later and later, and then about 3:30, the delivery driver phones me and says, sorry for the mistake. He says, well, do you mind just going to get it? It's only just down the road. Do you mind? And I was just wanting my computer at this point, because I think he's running late and he couldn't get back in time. So I was like, yeah, whatever, what the fuck ever. So I had to walk down the road. It was about a 5-minute walk, couple of streets along, knocked on their door with their box, says, look, you've got my box. And they went, yeah, I have got your box. You've got my box. And then we swapped boxes, and then I carried this thing up a hill, and it's a big PC. I'm not fit. I'm a big fatty. And that was killer. But anyway, so I got the box home, unpacked it, and what do I see? We're moving on the slideshow. So first off, this doesn't look quite straight, does it? So first off, what happens is this is a hard drive caddy, for those that don't know. It's usually inside your case, but what happens is, because my graphics card was so big, they removed this sort of spare part and thought, well, you know, he still might want to use it someday down the line. We'll give it to him in the box, which is great. Fine. I unpacked the PC, that was all fine, and then there's a separate box with all the books and the cables, and there was this caddy in it. So I opened it up, and the caddy's bent as shit, right? As you can see in the photo, it's all bent up. So I thought, okay, that's weird. It must have, you know, been squished a bit. It's not that strong. Structurally, it's a bit, you know, it's not really meant to sit on its own. So it can be bent quite easily, but that still means it's taken a hit. But I was like, I'm not really that bothered, because I'm never going to use this anyway, so fine. So I go into the sort of computer itself, switch it on, have a look inside. All looks pretty. everything's working. So after about a day and a half, one thing I did notice was that this is the panel that you unscrew. There's one screw at the bottom that you can see in the picture, and there's one screw at the top, and it's the side panel with a clear glass door that you unscrew those two screws, then slide it off. Okay, and as you can see, this screw is going in at a slight downward angle, and it's actually quite tight to do every time. It's just one thing I noted when I was packaging. I was thinking, you know, if that's it, I'm not bothered. Maybe it's just a little bit ill-fitting, but I'm not gonna live with that. So I opened up the box, everything's fine. They use this big expanding foam in a bag that they put inside the computer, then expand, and it sort of keeps everything in place, which is really clever. So I plug it in, it's running beautifully, nice and quiet, excellent. Start installing stuff, played a few games. After about a day, the fan, one of the fans, started making a bit noise, quite a bit of noise, like it was sort of flicking against something, or dirty, or clogged with dog hair. I've got 3 dogs, so that wouldn't be a surprise. So I put my head down near the computer, and on the bottom, at the back of the computer, where the power supply unit, or PSU, is, it's got a fan underneath that. That's an intake fan that helps to cool the power supply. So, which is literally, in this photo, it's literally just behind there, the other side of the case, inside at the back there, right? And it was the fan on bottom of that was making some noise. So I gave it a clean, put it back on, still making noise after about 10 minutes. Okay, take it off. And then I thought, well, it's on carpet, so maybe it's sucking some of the fibres of the carpet up that are still attached, and they're just flicking as the fan goes round. So I put it on a bit of wood here, sort of MacGyvered it, and just found a bit of wood that fits there, so I knew it would be clean. Still making the noise. Okay, right, I'm going to have to contact PC Specialist. So I recorded a couple of videos of the noise, so I held my camera near it so you could hear it. It's quite loud, it's quite... I can't do the noise, I'm no good at impressions. And it was quite loud, so I thought, okay, I'm going to have to contact them. So I basically contacted them to say, this is what's happening. Basically, what I sort of worked out was, because the power supply is right next to where this screw is, it's behind the other side of the wall, is that maybe this computer's had a heavy drop, because that would make sense for all of the things. Why the caddy's been bent, why this case itself seems to be a little bent, why the screw's going in at such an angle, and why the bottom of the computer, where the power supply unit, something's wrong there. I didn't know what, something's wrong. So I told them all about it. So this is an email I sent to them. So I contacted them about it, and they said, this was on a Thursday, and they said, yep, we've arranged the courier to come pick it up Friday from you. Keep the original packaging, send just the box back. We'll replace the case and the power supply and make sure everything's working. And I was like, brilliant. You know, it's annoying again that I'm having to send back yet another new computer with an issue, but shit happens, whatever, right? So on the Friday, no one turned up to pick up the PC, right? No contact from the delivery company saying they couldn't make it, nothing, right? So in this email, I explained to them what happened the first time round, with the box just left outside my door and it being the wrong box and all that sort of stuff, and my sort of thoughts on the whole process, which was, it's probably damage done in transit, the damaged chassis, the power supply, the caddy. And I said, I know it's nearly all DPD's fault, but unfortunately you hired them, so it comes down on you. You know, they're contracted by PC Specialists, so it's on them. You know, shit happens, right? So explained my previous PC, explained why DPD are utter shit, explained that I've obviously lost days at work. I work from home, but I'm not going to tell them that. I lost two entire days at work, waiting for this fucking thing to get picked up. So eventually, because it was supposed to come on a Friday, but they came in on Monday, so that's delayed it even further. They pick it up on a Monday, it gets taken back. Right, fine, go. So today, we're fully up to date now. Today, the computer arrives. The DPD driver was fine. He still didn't knock at the door. I watched him come in. He still just chucked it in next to the side door outside. Anyone could nick it. It would have been easy. Utterly shit. But so I brought it in. I was like, brilliant. Okay, so first thing I'd do is take the case out, put it to one side, have a look in the box. There's a caddy, a brand new caddy in there that's like bubble wrapped to an inch of its life. They'd really stuffed this thing full so it didn't bend. It's quite funny, and that was fine. You know, that's the bit I'm least bothered about anyway. So I was like, right, put it on the kitchen table, let's have a look at it. So, went to unscrew. Hang on a sec. This bottom screw still feels a little bit tight. Have they replaced the case or not? That seems weird. It seems slightly different, but it was still a little bit tight and a slight angle. But I was like, okay, maybe it's just a weird case thing. Who knows? Anyway, let's have a look at the rest of it. Opened the case up, looked inside. What did I see? That. Now, if you don't know what you're looking at here, that is basically a view at my motherboard. Now, those two big silver blocks are part of what's called, it's basically for cooling your processor. It's the maker's Noctua, and it's an NHD14 cooler. Okay, so those silver blocks, and there's a cream thing in between with the brown edges, right? That cream thing with the brown edges is a fan, from looking at it from the top. So, but those two silver things should be touching the fan. So the one on the left-hand side, perfect. The one on the right-hand side, that should be touching the other side of the fan, right? It's fucking bent, badly bent, right? And these are all metal tubes. It's like a giant radiator that runs through these. So it's not something you just go, oh, I'm just going to bend it back, because you might flatten tubes there and you could cause yourself serious issues. So I was fucking raging at this point, right? Absolutely annoyed as shit. Plus the fact I'm not even sure if they've replaced the case as they said they were going to. So I phoned them. I thought I'd check the return. You know, on the website itself, you can log into your account and you can check up on the returns, right? So here's when I took the screw out. There's the sort of slightly bent case. You see, you can see it just around the hole there. It does look slightly misshaped. So this is their returns form. Okay, so this is created by the techie guy that when I first phoned about the problems. There's my two initial photos that had the issues. So I explained that it was a bit noisy and all that stuff, and I think it might be a bit bent, the power supply, etc. They then reworded it, so their own thing was that the case was damaged in transit. The hard drive cage has been bent, and the PlayStation, the power supply unit is buckled to the point of the fan catching. Now that's their words. I never said anything like that. I didn't know it was buckled. I didn't know that was making the fan catch. I had no idea. So they obviously, somebody had seen that, checked it and gone, that's the problem, right? So fine, that makes perfect sense to my problems I was having. So here's the guy that fixed it. So this is his Windows side panel has been replaced. So they replaced the side panel but not the case, when you can clearly see in the photos I just had previously that there's something wrong with the case. It's not quite right, you know. I can live with it if it's just a bit superficial. It's very small, but I was just thinking maybe that leads on to bigger problems, you know. So, and it says has been done, no damage has been done to any hardware. All hardware is past testing. There is no reported damage to the power supply unit. What the fuck? No reported damage, even though I literally reported the damage. I've sent them YouTube videos so they can hear the noise that it makes. So not only have they not replaced the case, they've not replaced the fucking power supply. Right? Which is ridiculous. So he says, and fair enough, he says, look, hard drive caddy cage has been replaced, and this has been packed separate to the case due to the GPU size not fitting the case. Perfect, all good. Overnight, basically, this is a lot of testing that he did. 4-hour bit pass along with 50 reboots, 50 cold boots. So he's basically testing the computer, make sure it works. And obviously he's gone, it's not making that sound, it's fine. Even though in the first email I sent to them about the issue was that it was fine for me for about a day and a half, but then started making these noises. So it could easily sneak past a few hours of testing and not be an issue. He's heard that the video, I've shown them the video and the noise, you can hear clearly that the microphone picks up. So I'm at this point, I am fucking raging. This is about lunchtime today. I am ready to murder someone. Right? I am like this close. I'm making really small distance with my fingers. This close to telling them to shove it up their arse and give me my money back. Right? Really close. So I thought, okay, I'll phone the support. And to be fair, all the way along, the guy you speak on the support has been brilliant. They've been fantastic. That's the only highlight of this whole issue has been that they've been really helpful. So I explained what happened, and I explained that my power supply has not been swapped, all that stuff. He's then like, okay, that's weird. And then he looks at this return thing on his screen, and I said, see, as you can see on there, it says it's not been changed. And he's like, well, that makes no sense. It says it's buckled to the point of, literally the problem says that the power supply is buckled, and then the other guy says it's fine. So, it makes no sense. So he's gone off to speak to the techies. So basically what's possibly going to happen is that they are going to send me a new cooler, which I fit myself. This is what one of the suggestions he made. Send me a new cooler, which I would fit myself. I would send back the bent one, and all is well in the world. But that's not the problem, is it? Because the power supply unit's going to fucking fall again, isn't it? There's a high chance that power supply unit is going to start making those noises again after a day or so. It's not suddenly fixed itself. So I was saying to him, because he was like, you don't want to send it back at Christmas time because you won't get it back, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But other problems are going to persist. The case didn't even get replaced. So anyway, he said, which makes sense, he says, look, I've got to go and speak to the techie. I don't really know what he's done then. I don't understand why he hasn't replaced the power supply, etc., etc. So they promised to call me back at 3 p.m. today, right? It is now 5 p.m., so they're almost going to be finished for the day. If they do not call me back before close of business today, then they can go shove this order up their arse. That will be the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm done. I'm out. Absolutely fuming with the whole thing. And so this is my review of PC Specialist. As you might have guessed, I'm going to give them a thumbs down. Now, there are elements of the website and the whole process that are good. The guys you speak to on the phone in support are brilliant. They're all based in the UK. They speak English, which is always a bonus when you speak in support. They are actually really, really good. So my hat's off to them. The other part of it is actually the building process of the PC, using the forums and the people that help you there. Fantastic. They've got a nice range of stuff. They're competitively priced. Everything in between, fucking awful. Whether it's from packaging the boxes to using the wrong delivery companies. Like, I'm spending £1,600 on a computer, right? So I don't care if they said to me, by the way, instead of, I think it was 15 quid or something for the postage, instead of 15 quid, it's 30 quid. I would have gone, that's fine, because that's 15 quid on 1,600 quid to use a fucking delivery company that doesn't just chuck stuff at your back door. I think that's been the problem the whole way through. That is probably what caused the damage in the first place. It's probably what caused the damage on the return with the bent stuff, because he's just throwing those cases around. It even, it says on it, it's fragile. It says you've got to make sure the person's in. It's set on the labels on the box, but they don't check. It's ridiculous. And as long as they keep using DPD, I will never ever use them again. Like, I couldn't take the risk of having a month of my life fucking about with PC Specialist. I know this has turned into a massive rant, but I need to get it out of my system. And, you guys would be in the same position. Little bits you go, shit happens, well, let's get it fixed. Sometimes stuff breaks, or sometimes, something gets damaged. But the fact is, everything points to the fact the first time it was delivered, it had taken a massive hit, whether that had been dropped or had something chucked on it or something like that, that it bent the case, it buckled, in their words, the power supply unit within the case, and the caddy and all that sort of stuff suggests that it'd taken a massive hit. And even on today's return, the fact is that, they didn't replace the case, which is fucking awful. They should just man up and replace the bits that are broken. But also, like, the cooler was probably in transit, because there's no way, no techie's oblivious enough or stupid enough to think that looks okay, right? So the fact is that it was fine until it got into the hands of DPD. So stop using white van men, and no apologies to people that drive white vans, but if you do, don't be a delivery driver, because it's a nightmare. I would happily pay 20 quid extra postage to know that it's being sealed and securely delivered. And also other parts, like having big holes in the side of the box to put your hands in, so you can lift it, but those holes directly going to the computer. Like the first time it was delivered, it was wrapped in a bit of plastic, but that's not going to protect it from if it's pissing down, and it's, especially if it's because it was left outside of my house. You know, if it was raining or stuff like that, or the other stuff, you could easily, something could slide in there and do damage to it. And the return today didn't even get wrapped in plastic, so there was holes in the side of the box that led directly to my computer, directly to the insides of my computer, which is just ridiculous. The padding itself in the box was fine. It had like a sort of plastic sponge stuff that sort of fitted around the top of the bottom of the computer and sort of pushed out to the sides of the box to stop it sort of getting not moving about and stuff. That was all fine, but those big holes. So as it stands at now, I'm kind of done with PC Specialist. I think they can go fuck themselves, which is really annoying because anybody that does follow my YouTube channel knows that I've been desperate for this PC because my other one's crap and I do crap quality videos, which really annoys me, and it's really noisy, and I'm a perfectionist, so that sort of shit really annoys me. So I've been desperate to start working on it, and also I do a Football Manager. If you're not following my channel, this will make no sense, but I play Football Manager as one of my saves, and I've got a lead save going on. One thing I did manage to do with the return was that I plugged it all in because there was 3 videos, leads of my lead save to go on YouTube that I needed to get from that computer. So I plugged it all in and powered it up just for a couple of minutes just to get all the bits out, close it down again. So I have got those at least that I can then carry on the lead save. But fuck me, I would not recommend PC Specialist to anyone, and that's kind of sad because it's a good idea and it does well what it does, but they need to get like a delivery company and package their stuff better because it's never ending. It's never ending. Like, if I return this one and say, okay, yeah, fix it please, I want a new case and I want a new power supply, what's the next broken thing going to be when it comes back? Who knows? So, thank you for listening to my rant. Well done. If you've lasted this long, please let other people know, because I'm sure there were tons of people that have had a wonderful time with PC Specialist. You know, like I said, the website's great and the whole sort of process is great. And if you didn't have any sort of damage in transit and stuff, that if you've never had any sort of broken bits or stuff, you might not had to experience all this return bullshit and stuff. So you might have had wondrous times. So please do post in the comments to say, yeah, I used PC Specialist and they were fantastic, no problems here. Let's get all the sides of the view, you know, not just me ranting about my situation. Let's hear what you guys think. That would be fantastic. Thank you very much for listening to my regular YouTube channel. I have my lead save. It won't be the best quality in the world, but we're back on track with that and all the other videos, and yeah. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Bye-bye for now. Love you all. Where's the off button?